And so he says strong meat belongs to them. Hebrews 5:14, who by reason of use. You don't just become strong in this thing by hearing it, it's by doing it. Because when next you confront the demon will challenge you, but you will go forward now because of what Jesus did. When next you confront a challenge, you will go forward because of what Jesus did. You will just notice rest, ease, fear will go, confident assurance will just come out of your spirit, because now you know you are going on the merit of another. But it doesn't stop there. He has given you merit before the Father, but he now expects you to grow experientially into it, because your spirit has been created in the order of God, but God expects you now to grow into it. If I call you out, for example, and I tell you, maybe I called one of my pastors out this evening and I said, ordain him an apostle. And I said, both of us are the leaders of this move. Legally, every authority I have, every right I have, every privilege I have is now shared. If I say something, it's because he agrees with it. And if he says something, I can't change it unless both of us agree. Because now, legally, I've brought him to that level. However, that I brought him to that level legally does not mean he will preach the way I'm preaching. So he now has to study the word of God and grow to experientially handle spiritual things the way I handle them. He has all the authority I have, not because he did anything, because I conferred it upon him. It's called the power of Anthony. I've conferred it upon him so he can exercise the same authority I exercise here. If I'm not around, he can change the policy. He can decide to restructure the leadership. I can't do anything about it. I can't even be angry with him, because both of us now operate as co-heirs, co-equal in administration. But it doesn't mean he will preach the way I preach. It doesn't mean he will operate in word of knowledge the way I operate in word of knowledge. It doesn't mean he can exercise spiritual dominion the same way I exercise spiritual dominion. In fact, if I don't come here for 1 year, nobody may come again, because he will need to demonstrate God as much as I'm demonstrating God. He will need to manifest God as much as I'm manifesting God. So there's no argument about his stature, but there will be an argument about the things he can command. And so in addition to forgiveness and righteousness, God introduced more, because the Jesus that you have been made a co-heir with, you have to grow into his stature. That's why Ephesians 4 from verse 11, the Bible said to some he gave to be apostles, prophets, evangelists, pastors, and teachers for the equipping of the saints. Why? It said that they will grow into the fullness of the measure of the stature of Christ, unto a perfect man. So it's one thing to be declared, it's another thing to grow into it. So there are many believers who are as righteous as Jesus is, but they cannot live the way Jesus lived. And so in order to balance living how Jesus lived, there is the necessity of the doctrine of sanctification and the doctrine of consecration.